Hey guys, this is Ashley Castellini Garcia, and I'm actually doing a second video for the 1stPhorm athlete search because I spent countless hours on the first one, but after submitting it at like 1 o'clock in the morning and then watching it a few times, a few days, weeks later, I decided, that really didn't give an accurate description of me, I guess, or send the message that I wanted, even though at the time I thought, oh, this is really cool. And it was more or less because I was playing with new software on the computer and I thought it was cool that I could piece stuff together. But the message that I wanted to send didn't quite come across. So I'm actually doing a second video just so I can, kind of get a better description of the message that I wanted to send and my story, and what I think it means and what I want to convey for an actual 1stPhorm athlete. Again, my name is Ashley Castellini Garcia, and I am 27 years old. I'm a mother to a 10-month-old Bo Bradley. I'm a wife to Brian Garcia. I'm a dog mom to two big dogs, Sebastian and Little Man, and they're not little, they're big boys. I'm a full-time legal assistant and paralegal at a litigation law firm. I coach part-time in the summers, youth track and field, and I'm trying to think. I'm a WBFF fitness competitor in the Diva Fitness category, and I'm just an all-around dork, I guess. I work hard, play hard, work out all the time. My schedule's crazy. I'm up at 4:45 in the morning and hitting bed probably between 11 and midnight. That's just my schedule, and that's just what happens when you're a mom and when you're trying to do 18 things at once. I'm a country girl. Brian and I, listen to all kinds of music, but we go out and we go country dancing. It's a lot of fun. I guess that's what you do when you're in Dallas, Texas. I'm a football fan. I can't say I'm a Cowboys fan, sorry, but I am a Broncos fan. I'm a Peyton Manning fan, all the way. And what else? I'm just an overall goofball. My story kind of starts in college. I was a track and field athlete. I went to Sam Houston State University on a track and field scholarship. I ran the 400 meters in the 4x4 relay, Bill Bearcats. And we won several conference championships. I actually have 4 rings indoor in both indoor and outdoor seasons the years that I was there. And it was a ton of fun. I was done with that in 2009 and then moved back up to Dallas. And I met Brian while at Sam Houston, and he ended up coming back up to Dallas with me. Married in 2011. In 2012, I decided I needed something to get back into a competitive field. I worked out, I ran, I did all kinds of stuff, but I missed being competitive. So I hired a coach and got into lifting again. I really missed it, and decided to do a WBFF fitness competition. And I did, well, I was going to, and then found out I was pregnant with my son, Bo. So we put that on hold. And this is where the real story begins, and where I really think that I found out a lot about life. And it's made me grow up a lot. I'm Italian. I come from a huge family, a huge, very connected, loving. We all talk with our hands. We all give hugs and kisses. We all cook a lot of food, kind of family. And the pregnancy went great. Until the very end. Bo was full term. He was 38 weeks along when he was born, but there was a lot of complications during birth, and when he was born, he was transported to a NICU unit. The hospital that I gave birth at didn't have one, and 25 miles away, I live in Rockwall, and they transported him to Dallas, and my husband went with him, and my mom stayed with me at the hospital. And with everything that happened, we were told he had heart failure, kidney failure, liver failure. He had a cephalohematoma where he lost 50% of the blood from his body to his head, And so he had a huge knot on the back of his head that was just all blood, and it was between the skin and the skull, which was good. It didn't actually penetrate the skull and get to the brain. But he lost all this blood to his head, so he didn't have it in his body like he needed to. And then he had what was medically called thrombocytopenia, which meant that his body could not produce clotting factors or platelets so that it could clot the hematoma that he had, and if he were to have been cut, he could have bled out type of thing. So I remember Brian calling me from the second hospital, and I'd never heard my husband cry before, but I remember him bawling on the phone, and he's saying, you know, they don't know if he's going to make it. They don't know if Bo's going to make it. I had to sign paperwork. They have to do emergency blood transfusions, you know, all this kind of stuff, and that the only thing that he had done was hit his knees and pray before calling me, because he didn't know how to tell me that. And it was rough. We spent 5 days apart because I wasn't healthy enough to leave the hospital. I was admitted at. And 5 days later, I got to go to the other hospital and be with Bo and Brian. And it was rough. Bo was in NICU for 3 weeks. Neonatal intensive care unit, and all kinds of tests, all kinds of transfusions, all kinds of x-rays, all kinds of, you know, IVs and cooling blanket and warming him back up and medications and everything. And it was rough. I think it was at that point in time that, you know, we really, really grew up. And I mean, not that we weren't grown up before. Brian and I are both extremely mature, but it was very much that you find what's important really quickly and what's not. I mean, we bought a house, we have dogs, we have material things, you know, cars, clothes, cameras, computers, toys. I mean, just anything you can think of, but none of that really mattered. We sat in the hospital for hours on end in what felt like staring in white walls and staring at your child and listening to monitors going off and listening to other children cry and parents being solemn. And it was just miserable. It's a tough feeling. You don't know how to pray for your child to be okay and for the health of your child and for, you know, the doctors to make everything right and nothing to be wrong with your child long term. But then watch other parents whose children are in a worse state than you are, and not want to be able to help them, or you know, be upset that your child's in this situation, but be thankful that they're not in that situation type of thing. And so it really put things into perspective. And we were blessed. We got to go home after 21 days in NICU, and Bo was still in complete liver failure when we left. And I would take him every week to a specialist to test his blood, check on his liver. Twice we set him up for liver biopsy, but then all of a sudden all of his, you know, levels that they were looking at would get better, so then we'd cancel the biopsy and all kinds of things. And so at this point in time, Bo is 10 months old, and he is crawling and he is babbling, and he finally said dad the other day, and he seems to be okay. But we have him in therapy, physical therapy, once a week that Brian takes him. And it's, he has, because of his birth issues, has red flags for cerebral palsy. And at this point in time, we believe it's going to be, you know, if completely diagnosed, mild cerebral palsy. There was some issues with stiffness and muscle that, you know, reared its head when we first got him home and within the, you know, preceding months. But he's doing a ton better, leaps and bounds. And, you know, we continue therapy with him every week, and he sees a developmental specialist every few months. And so we, you know, have complete faith that he'll be okay. But again, it kind of puts everything into perspective. You know, we don't take little things for granted anymore. We celebrate each day, and we really believe that somehow Bo knows that he is lucky because odds were against him and he wasn't supposed to make it, but he did. And He wakes up every morning with a smile on his face, and he is the happiest little boy that you've ever seen. I mean, you walk in his room and he's standing up in his crib and he is just giggling, and he does it all day. His sitter tells us he's just the happiest little guy. I just, I don't know what to do but be thankful, and that he is the way he is. Again, that kind of really puts things into perspective, and it makes you, forget about all the stupid bullshit and drama and high school nonsense that people get caught up in. Who's mad at who, and what, who's the gossip, and who said something bad about me, or who's doing this or doing that. Like, I don't care. As long as my family is happy and healthy and we're focused on making the best of every situation, then that's really all that matters. With that being said, right after I had Bo, I needed a stress release. There was so much going on, and we were spending hours sitting in the hospital and hours, with doctors and listening to monitors go off, and, memorizing numbers from all of his lab results so that Brian and I could repeat it to one another and then pass it on to family members and friends who were calling and worried about him. And it was a lot. So I called my coach back up as soon as I was released to work out again and said, look, we need to get this going again. I need to get back in the gym. I need something to just kind of unwind. So we did. And I got back in the gym, and from about mid-February of this year, or maybe early March, all the way up until October, I trained my ass off. Anytime I could be in the gym, and it was tough to get started again, between doctor's appointments and the hospital, and just mentally stressed and physically exhausted to get going. But it felt good to do it once I got started, and I did. I ate really clean, and I trained my ass off. And there were times for the longest time, once I went back to work off of maternity leave, the best way for me to do everything and to handle Bo and babysitter and all of his doctor's appointments was to be up at 3:45 in the morning and go at 4 in the morning from 4 to 6, and then come home, or 4 to 6, 4 to 6:30, come home and help out with everything, and then go spend my 8 hours a day at work, and then come home and be a mom and make sure Bo was okay, and adjust to all that life. So that's what I did. And October 4th, I went to Oklahoma and competed in my first WBFF show. And it was a blast. And I was blessed that I took home first place. Let's see if I have it. First place, Diva Bikini Fitness Model. Was really excited about that. And didn't get my pro card. It's on my goal sheet, but that's okay. And I won top 5 for Transformation Challenge from, I gained 60 pounds during the pregnancy and then lost all of it and gained muscle after the pregnancy to take home my trophy. So I got a Transformation Challenge medal. But this is not all about me in the bikini competition. I mean, I'm a competitor, and I love it because I respect the discipline that it takes. I respect the time that it takes. I respect the sacrifice of hours and the sacrifice of time with family, and of, having to say no sometimes. I don't want to go out and party and drink and do all that kind of stuff. I have more important things to do: raise a family and do a workout, meal prep, all of that type of stuff that goes into it. And I really, really, truly respect that. And I think that it's an intense discipline, and it really does keep you on track. And I think that's the coolest thing too that I learned when I was a track and field athlete, and what I try to coach the youth teams and youth is that sports plays so much into keeping kids out of trouble. You're disciplined. You have to work out a certain way. You feed your body the right fuel to be able to handle those type of workouts. You make better decisions because, if you fail in the classroom, then you don't get to compete. If you make bad decisions and end up arrested or in jail or on drugs, then you don't get to be involved in that type of, event anymore. And I think that the athletic community, or the Fit Fam, you know, as we hashtag and everything, is such a supportive community, and it's, you know, everybody wants everybody to do better and to progressively move forward in their goals, you know, whether it be, you know, on the track or, you know, in life. I keep up with so many of the track athletes that I went to school with, and, you know, now we're parents, or we're competitors in other ways, or we're, you know, involved in churches, and we're mentoring others, you know, stuff like that. It's a ton of fun. You know, you get to count your blessings in different ways because you stayed on track, and it's a discipline that keeps you out of trouble and helps you succeed elsewhere in life. And then, you know, also with that being said, I mentioned I'm a paralegal at a law firm, and I love it. You know, I took a lot of schooling, a lot of time, and a lot of, you know, going through, you know, legal training and everything, and whatever, but I love it, and I hate it all at the same time. It's stressful, it can be, but it's a lot of fun. But it's, after doing it for 6 years now or so, it's also not what I want to do for my whole life. Being an athlete my whole life, you know, I kind of did what I thought you were supposed to do when you get out of school. You go and you get a real job, and you know, put in your 40, 60 hours a week and get your paycheck, and, you know, pay for everything, and, you know, do whatever you need to do as an adult, which, by the way, growing up sucks. But I decided that I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, so I'm currently working on getting back into the fitness world full time, not just as a competitor part time, but I really want to make an influence in the fitness world. And so I'm working on my certifications to be a personal trainer and a nutritionist and a wellness coach. And since I can't be in a gym and coach full time like I know a lot of other people do and other athletes do that are, you know, are in the search, I kind of started my own thing where I went and talked to my HR manager at my job, and a lot of the people know at work, you know, it's no secret that I compete, and they make fun of me for all these fun selfies that I post up on my Instagram and Facebook pages. And in fact, one of the girls joked about possibly going as me for Halloween to our office Halloween party, just so she could take her cell phone around and go, "Hey, look, I'm Ashley," and take selfies all day. And, you know, I love them for it. It doesn't bother me at all. It just makes me laugh. And she was going to wear a little lanyard that said Sunshine, because I'm known for calling everybody Sunshine. You know, it's, "Hey, Sunshine, how's it going?" Or, you know, "What's wrong, Sunshine?" or whatever. So it was kind of funny. And, you know, to me, it's not making fun of me. To me, I'm like, you know what? If people want to, you know, imitate me, I must be doing something right. So anyway, I went and talked to my HR manager, and we decided that I could do a health and wellness challenge. And so that's what I'm doing with, there's 12 girls in my office who signed up, and I left it open to anyone. But I'm doing a health and wellness challenge, and it's perfect timing because it'll go through the holidays of Thanksgiving and lead right up into Christmas. And I sent out a nutrition outline to all these girls, and it's kind of the outline that I started on, and it just outlines the principles for eating clean. You know, what clean fruits, clean vegetables, you know, the principles of eating every, you know, few hours and why it can be beneficial to you, the principles of drinking water, a ton of water, and, you know, why it can help you, and you know, getting rid of the sugary juices and the junk food in the house, and, you know, the fast food meals that you eat on the go all the time because you're too busy or too lazy to do anything else. So, you know, kind of sent a general outline, and then from there, I sent out a goal sheet, and I asked everyone to fill out this goal sheet, and it could be, you know, your top 5 goals over the next 6 weeks that you hope to achieve. It could be weight loss, it could be to get more sleep, it could be to unplug from social media more every night, to spend more time with your family. It could be anything. But I think the most important thing that you're going to do if you enter a fitness journey or a wellness journey of any type for yourself is to understand and have a why. Why are you doing this? What is driving you? Do you want, you know, is it for personal reasons, or because that's okay? Is it because you want to be a role model for your children? Is it because you know, have a health condition that you want to improve? Is it because you want to lose those last 5 stubborn pounds? I mean, whatever it is, I ask them to put down their why. And Then I ask them to recognize barriers that will keep them from achieving those goals. I also think that it's important to understand what's stopping you, and it could be internal or external forces. It could be that I'm too lazy to cook healthy food and I'd rather go through a drive-through. It could be that I know that when I get home I don't want to do anything, and so I change in my pajamas and I think, oh, I should go to the gym, but I've had a long day, so I'm just going to lay on the couch and watch TV. It could be that you are afraid of lifting weights because if you're a female, you think that they'll make you, look like a man. It could be that, it could be whatever factors. I ask them to recognize those barriers. And then finally I ask them to list how they could overcome those barriers. If they know that when they come home, they're tired and they're not going to do anything, then can you take your workout clothes with you and go, to a gym right after work instead of going home, so that you are keeping you're keeping in a rhythm, and you're still going, so that when you do hit home, you're like, okay, now it's time to settle down. If you have kids, can you include them in the workouts? Kids love being active. If you're going to jump rope for a couple minutes, have the kids jump rope with you and make it a contest. Or go out and be active with your kids. I'm not saying you have to do like an entire gym workout, but go play soccer with them, or, go throw a ball around, or, go on a bike ride, or just go take a long walk with the dogs, something to be more active. Involve your kids. It doesn't have to be just you on this journey. It can be, including others. If you, don't have a gym membership, but you don't know how to work out on your own, then, and that's your problem, then, watching workout videos, looking up YouTube videos, doing something to help yourself. So I asked everybody to, put down their goals, recognize what could stop them from their goals, and then recognize how they could overcome whatever's stopping them from those goals so that they can ultimately reach those goals. And I had an amazing response to everything, and I think it was really cool to see people really think about, what they want. And I was very happy that not everyone, wrote down that they wanted to lose 5 pounds, because I told them, I don't want this to be about weight loss. I want this to be about what makes you happy and why you want to, partake in a healthier lifestyle and a wellness challenge. And wellness isn't just about, your physical appearance, or, about lifting weights or meal prep and all that kind of stuff, but it's about what makes your mind and your heart happy and what makes you really focus on what's important in life. And, so I did get those responses where it was spend more time with my kids. And I love that, because I make it a point to spend as much time with Bo as possible, and not just because he's got needs that we have to address and exercises that we have to do with him daily, but because he deserves that attention, and it's good for him and it's good for me. And, so it's great to see that. And so next step is, I did a point system where you get points for being active during the day. You get points for, tracking what you eat and eating and choosing healthier meals. They get bonus points for taking their favorite holiday indulgence, their favorite comfort food, and transforming it into a healthier recipe for them and the family. They get bonus points for sleeping, 5 or at least 6 hours a night, I think I put. It's an all-around challenge, and it's good. I'm making YouTube videos of at-home workouts that can be done and sending it to them nightly so that they have it for the next day. And then I think I'll have 5 or 6 videos, and they can, roll through all those videos. So you can find those on my YouTube channel upcoming as well. And, it was really cool to sit down and talk with my HR manager about this, and to get so many people on board to do it. And I think that for me, it helps me kind of getting into the coaching mentality, from the beginning. But what I get most out of this is that I get to see other people be happy and active. And it's not about me. It's about them, you know, recognizing their goals and recognizing their fears and recognizing what's keeping them back from everything, you know, held back from everything, and then watching them overcome everything. And I know that I'm only starting this as a 6-week challenge, but I think that, you know, in 6 weeks you can, if they stick to it, like I hope they do, they'll learn a lot, and they'll be happy with themselves, and they'll, you know, find a new strength within themselves that maybe they didn't know they had before. And that's all I can hope for. And because that's what I found within myself when I, you know, dug my heels back in after Bo was born and started doing on my fitness journey. And you know, that's kind of how I feel when you know, after Bo was born and I dug my heels in and I really reevaluated what's important in life, and you know, how resilient a child can be from, you know, not making it and being on as many tubes and IVs and all kinds of stuff that you can think of, to, you know, he's almost walking now and saying dada and babbling and laughing and just, you know, making me realize that life is a gift. And you know, I'm blessed to receive that message, and I really hope that I can help others to get that message as well, that life's a gift and it's okay to treat yourself, you know, and live a healthier lifestyle and push yourself to new limits, and, you know, in all aspects of your life. You know, that's the message that I really want to help others get. And eventually I'll do it full time. You know, eventually I really want to be that coach and that trainer and that, you know, nutritionist that can do it from a healthy, you know, from a healthier avenue, you know, in a gym. But right now, you know, I get to do it through work and through making my own videos and, you know, helping others. And I really enjoy it. So, you know, to me overall, I know that this video is getting long, is a 1stPhorm athlete is somebody who understands that you can be an athlete, you know, and that's great. Fitness athletes are great. I wouldn't change competing with the WBFF or anything. I love stepping on stage. I love pushing myself to new limits in the gym. I love finding out, you know, that I can push myself to new PRs, and that, you know, I can find new ways to make recipes that I love. You know, like I said, being Italian, we love all types of food and tons of wine. That I can transform all these things that I love into healthier versions and feed my body right. But, you know, I think being an athlete, being a 1stPhorm athlete isn't just about being an athlete. It's about being someone who understands that life is a gift, and especially when you almost see it get taken away, and that, you know, appreciate every moment you have, and you know, make it a goal of yours to make the best out of it, and, you know, even in the worst situations, and to spread that message to others and let them know that you know, they can do anything that they want to put their mind to, and, you know, or that they put their mind to. They can do anything, you know, even if they think they can't do it. If they really just, you know, dig down and recognize what's stopping them, then I bet you they can overcome it, kind of thing. It's about watching others transform their life. It's about taking, you know, 2 steps forward and falling down 5, but getting back up and doing it again until you get where you want to go. You know, I think that summarizes more about what a 1stPhorm athlete is and what I originally wanted my message to say. Instead of just video picture slide, you know, with me talking over it or trying to talk over it. I think I wanted to go this route. It's a little bit more candid and long-winded, but it kind of says everything I wanted to do, and it wanted to say, and it gets, I think, more of the message across that I wanted to. So that's me in a nutshell. That's my message. And if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, then you know that I always have some goofy ass picture with my tongue hanging out. So that's how I'm going to end this video. See y'all later.